He is a Cavapoo crossed with a Poodle, so he's got a really high maintenance curly coat. And so this video is for dogs that have a bit of Poodle mixed into them, or a really thick coat. A Show Cocker Spaniel would be one also. So I'm going to show you how to brush your dog daily so that you can maintain their coat as well as you can in between grooms. So we recommend that you remove all their collars or harnesses, and that if they do wear a harness, to be aware that these areas will be prone to more matting, and so they'll need to be brushed better, and the chest too. So I normally brush Pablo once a day. Occasionally I brush him twice a day if I know that I'm going on a muddy walk that day, so I might brush him before the walk and then after. I've purposely not brushed him for 3 days now, just so there will be a bit more resistance when I show you how I brush him today. Mats don't form overnight, they form over low grade grooming over time. So if you miss an area for a week, that area will be likely to mat. Whereas if you know that you've brushed it every single day really well, if you miss 3 days, you won't get any mats there, you'll just have a few knots which you can then get out quite easily. So you'll need 2 types of brushes for this, a slicker brush and a comb. The slicker brush is a soft metal toothed brush which you can just get through the top coat. Then you'll follow that through with a comb, and that just needs to be a metal comb with long teeth which you can then reach the skin and undo any knots that you might find. So the slicker brush is the one we're going to start with. You need to brush the whole dog head to toe with this. So I'm going to start with the neck. This is one of the easier areas, where his collar goes, and I'm going to go up, down and up again, and I'm going to repeat this all over the body. So you'll notice the texture of the hair is changing on the top, so you can't quite see the defined curls quite as well anymore. So I'm now brushing the front legs. The front legs are really important. You will find that they get mats around this area on the ankles, everywhere where there's a bend. And just make sure you get the back of the foot here. And then if you hold the bottom of the ankle there, you can brush the toes up. And we find that lots of dogs get mats between their toes here, so you will avoid that by brushing upwards here, back down and up. And then don't forget to get this area and the armpits here. I'm now going to groom his tuck up, which is down here. This area also is prone to mats. And then if you go down the leg, make sure you get this bend here. Good boy. And then you need to remember to do the hop, which is the back piece of the foot, which is where they sit on. And that gets really muddy, so you just mustn't forget that area there. Another area that gets missed off is the base of the tail right here. So it's quite a difficult area to get, and the dog does tend to sit on it as well, and it gets rubbed. And then obviously the tail too. And don't forget their bottom. Okay, great. And then next we're going to do his chest. Hold his legs up and his tummy. And don't forget the sanitary area. So if you get them to stand up, you might be really lucky and your dog might actually enjoy being brushed, and you can get them to lie on their back and just do their tummy that way. That's probably easier. Good boy. Mwah. Okay, so now we're going to move on to brushing the head. So I'm going to brush the top knot, backwards and then forwards again. This is going to make it really big and fluffy and make sure that we've not missed out any of the knots. Then lift his ear and brush the cheek hair below and go all the way to his muzzle, brushing forwards and then backwards. And same again on the other side. And then don't forget the chin as well, which we find does get quite knotty. Brushing it downwards and then upwards again. Good boy. Last but not least, the ears. And make sure you go all the way to the edge of the leather, which is the skin, and below as well. Get all that hair separated on the ends. So Pablo's now been completely slicker brushed, and now we're going to go through with the comb. The comb is going to reveal how well we did with the slicker, and is going to catch any knots that we might have missed. The slicker brush doesn't really go all the way down to the skin, this will. So I'm going to start again as we did earlier on the back, and you're going to notice it's not going to go through quite as quickly as the slicker did. I'll just show you an example here. The slicker just goes straight through and you think there's absolutely no knots there. And now I'm going through and look, there's a bit of resistance there. So that's just making sure we are getting every little tangle. And now I'm going to do the legs again. I'm going to do the armpit, so there's a little tangle there, but we've got that out fine. Good boy. Going to go up on the shoulder and down the legs. Good boy, Pabs. So all of those little tangles that I'm catching on now would have been missed had I only used the slicker brush, and would in the end, good boy, turn into mats. And then I'm just going to make sure that I've not missed anything out between his toes, going forwards and backwards again. So you're going to go back down on the tuck up down here. There we go, we've got a little knot here and it's gone. And down the leg, making sure you get those ankles where they're likely to get knots. Back of the hock here, and we're going to do between the toes again. So down and back up. And you're going to notice that the difference in the hair texture now is completely different to how it was earlier, where from the root of the hair you can see there are no proper formed curls, which is where the knots and mats will appear. Now I'm doing his tail, so you just want to make sure that you're reaching the skin and not just doing the end hair right there, and actually reaching all the way in. Then we're going to move on to his chest. Again, going down and back up to make sure we haven't missed anything. And we're going to get him to stand on his hind legs, just to be sure we've not missed anything on his tummy. I tend to keep that area quite short. Stand down, good boy. I tend to cut all this area quite short so that it's lower maintenance at home, and then keep him fluffy on top. And the head. So we're going to go backwards all over the top knot and then bring it forward. So I do tend to work in sections with this, as his hair's a bit thicker on top, so I do keep it longer here. You can see each little curl is being undone. A lot of people like their dogs looking a bit maybe dreadlocky or scruffy and like them looking curly, and that's absolutely fine, but you do still need to brush them in between every other day or so, because otherwise they could get matted. Good boy. With the muzzle here, you want to make sure that they don't get any mats on this area, which is an area that's a bit tighter and probably easy to miss. So just make sure you're going nice and close to the skin there. And then the chin, down, and we're going to go back up so we don't miss any bits. And don't forget to brush under the ears. All breeds get mats under their ears, especially the ones with long hair. And then again, we're going to go over the top of the ear, and you really need to make sure you get to the end here where the ear leather is.
Yay! All done, Pablo.
Great, well thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope that this video was nice and informative for you to carry on with your dog's grooming in future. We sell all the equipment that you need in our shop and online, so just hop onto our website and check us out there. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon from Pablo and me. Bye!